The seventh key is the emotional audit. So this key is very helpful in regards to self-awareness and emotional self-control and that whole area around self-management. You know, one of the things in emotional intelligence and that got popularized by Daniel Goleman is this idea of the amygdala hijack. What are the things that you get hijacked? When you get hijacked, what happens? Blood and oxygen go to the back of the amygdala. Less blood and oxygen go to the prefrontal cortex. And so how I try to get people's attention is when you get hijacked, your IQ points are dropping very, very rapidly. Could be to the tune, depending on the person, 10 to 15 IQ points when you're incredibly hijacked. Serena Williams, when she was playing in the US Open, she got hijacked and ended up losing the Open when she was swearing at the line judge. And it goes on and on as far as people who begin hijacked, they have loss of impulse control. It's one of the key derailers. Well, this key can help. One of the things that we know that when you are hijacked, blood and oxygen are in the amygdala, you're losing those IQ points, just being able to name the feeling, name what's going on. Some of the research by Matthew Lieberman has suggested that just this affect labeling, name the feeling, can allow the hijack, the emotions to be less. So someone's coming into you, they're going to be hijacked. Customers are hijacked. Part of this is to be able to name what's going on for them. You seem very frustrated. This has got to be really discouraging for you. So if you name it, sometimes that idea that I talk about, you have to name it to tame it. So one way, and if this is on for you, you could use these questions also from the emotional audit. Think about there's an audit of your emotions. So you could use it for yourself. You could also use it in a coaching situation if someone's coming to you. And so the first thing, and if you want to think about this, their IQ points are dropping, and depending on their emotional style, someone it may drop for 2 minutes, someone it may drop for 3 hours. The day could be lost because they are so emotionally hijacked by what's gone on. So depending on the emotional style, everybody's a little different. But these questions turn on the light in the prefrontal cortex. When you're hijacked, in a sense, the lights are out. And that's why the IQ points are dropping. Less blood, less oxygen are in the prefrontal cortex. So how do you turn on the lights? These questions are strategic that we all know, we've heard over and over, count to 10. Well, what do you do when you count to 10? I would suggest you ask these 5 questions to yourself, or you can paraphrase it to someone else. So first one, what am I thinking? And I'll give you a couple examples. Let's say someone's at a meeting. What am I thinking? This meeting's going on and on and on. Okay. What am I feeling? Name it to tame it. I'm frustrated. I want something to happen here. So what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And then the third question is, what do I want now? I want this to be a more productive meeting. I got a lot of things going on. That's what I want. Again, when you ask these questions, it's the prefrontal cortex, executive functioning, logic, rationale, that's getting turned on. So you're going to be better able to get back your IQ points. What do I want now? Well, I want this to be constructive. The fourth question is kind of the linchpin here. How am I getting in my way? I'm just sitting here rolling my eyes and huffing and puffing. I'm not doing anything. Or I'm just getting more and more frustrated. I just keep, replaying the same thing over and over. So how am I getting in my way? And then now that you have all this data, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What is it I want in this situation? And how am I getting in my way? The last question gives you a proactive choice. Okay, with all this data now, question number 5, what do I need to do differently now? I just used this this morning with someone who basically was saying he got triggered. And in the coaching session, we went through this in a couple of different situations. And I would say, as far as self-discovery, self-awareness for yourself, that these first questions, what am I thinking, what am I feeling, you're going to get the same answers most of the time. It's going to highlight your triggers. It's going to highlight the things that set you off. How are you getting in your way? Question 4. I bet you're going to get in your way a lot, the same patterns, same triggers, the same ways over and over. So it can be very, very insightful. And I would encourage you and people that you work with, to raise your emotional intelligence, ask these questions numerous times. It's going to take you 10 seconds. Take some deep breaths. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What do I want? How am I getting in my way now? Okay, now what do I need to do different? It's going to open up a plethora of choices for you, where when you're hijacked, your choices will be less.